Alright, new video. The legendary Alpha Squad Skate Escape. So, it wasn't long after we started going into the BMX track, we started running into security guards at the swamp. And routine city police cops were checking it out. I guess, I don't know why. But, at first it wasn't that bad. And we avoided hitting people in the day when we were skating through the swamp. And most people were waving at us and instead of telling us to leave. Everybody was pretty happy. We weren't hitting anybody, so they didn't really care. People were walking their dog and fucking biking and shit. Um, then we got stopped by a security guard, and then after we got out of view, we fucking bombed it again. But we started having to scope it out during the daytime, and then nights were way better, so we started going at night because there was no security. And then, but when we started seeing the cop cars, the squad cars, it got more sketchy, you feel me? And then it all fucking culminated with this one huge trip with me, Will, Travis, Tanner, Josh, Patrick, and I think Johnny, but I don't know. And basically, we had skated the upper parts of the BMX track, and we were waiting around the beginning of the swamp chilling, doing tricks. Yeah, I remember. They had a fucking bottle, a glass bottle. It wasn't beer, it was something else. But Will power slid into it and broke it, and it was cool. And then, we cleaned that off, and then the fucking cops showed up. And then Will and Tanner fucking took off down the swamp. And there was no cops left because they both got out their cars. So I let everybody else out because I didn't want to get in trouble. There's no cop there to fucking hold me. They didn't try to stop us or say stay. So I wasn't gonna stay. You feel me? Um, but yeah, and that was just the start of it. And then you see, what had happened was we were skating through this set of neighborhoods, and we were on the back. There's a back alleyway. And I don't know why, but there's this. It's a developing community. It's not even done yet. But there was a couple people living there. And this one bitch was on the second floor. And we weren't even doing nothing wrong. We weren't even on our boards. And she just fucking, started yelling at us and saying she was going to call the cops if we didn't leave. And we just kept moving, didn't say nothing to her. And I guess that's what happened, which was some bullshit. And then, yeah, most of them were still being developed. And uh, I regrouped everybody, and yeah, we started skating back up to the old lady's house, and we cussed her out, and then we were like, damn, we need to find Will and Tanner, and plus the cops could be near, our car, so we didn't want to just go there. And Travis took off by himself and fucking went to the woods and tried to go to the car. But we didn't know that till later. And then I brought the gang up to Mount Olympus, and then eventually Travis got back there, and so did Will and Tanner, like at the same time. We all like thought of the same thing. We all got on top of Olympus. And then we went to fucking, spec ops mode. We had the elevation, they couldn't fucking see us. And then there was like 12 fucking cop cars all circling around. Like you could hear them, you could see the lights and shit. And I was like, God damn, we had to come up with a plan to get the fuck out of there, you feel me? And then basically what happened was let's see, next page. I had the key for the car, so that was part of the plan was I had to get the car, and they were gonna keep the lookout and like stay on the side of the edge of the hill to where they could kind of see but also be hidden, and I had to make a mad dash for it, and I did, and no cops were around, thank God, because we just timed it right, I guess. And then I went around, no cop, like literally the cops were on the other side, like it just worked out perfect the way we scoped it out and shit, and then we just cruised on out of there, and that was that. It was it was crazy. It only took 10 minutes for like the plan, but man, this shit was ridiculous. And we were like, damn, can't believe we pulled that off. It had been 12 squad cars versus 6 of us, and we had won. It was legendary. Ah, next page. After the skate escape, and Abe's stay at the house. Now, this gets into right before Trudeau moved back, which this is the part I was telling Shoop about that he probably knows the least about, because I've told him about the beginning of the squad, but right before he moved in, I don't think I've told him everything. And yeah, he's been around for like half the squad's run now. He's been around the past 2 years. But yeah, after the skate escape, we all needed a break. And fortunately, I didn't have to wait long because me and Miller got a call from Jose. Keep in mind Miller was still, living with me. And yes, we wanted to go hiking and smoke the hookah on the top of the Kings Mountain. And we're like, hell yeah. So we did. And then the summit it's a beautiful scenery. We got up there, we got some pictures. The sun was, about to go down and shit. And yeah, we were smoking the hookah for the first time in a while. Jose got this new hookah called Oasis. It was the best hookah we ever hit. Didn't have it too long though, because when he went to basic, his mom threw it away. And then here's another story. This is the Walmart pool noodle fight one. It was about 6 months after Miller moved out, because Miller moved out because his parents started contacting him saying like, "What the fuck have you been doing?" Even though they kicked him out. And I can't remember exactly what happened. I know he moved out and like he moved to Rock Hill for a little bit. And that's whenever he was across the street from Josh, and he started hanging out with Sky, and Sky got him addicted to meth, but we didn't know that till later. And then yeah, I don't know. I think he moved back to his parents' house at one point too. But anyway, he moved out, and Will was coming around more, and then Will started staying at the house, and Abe, because we ended up getting back in contact with Abe. Yeah, so he moved in. Like, I think it was Abe before Will actually moved in though. Yeah, yeah. Abe moved in, and I was taking him to the school so he could see his girlfriend, because she was like 18 and he was like 19 or whatever, but she was like a senior and shit. And then yeah, but that didn't last too long. He was there like 4 months. I think Abe had got kicked out for smoking weed too. That seems to be like what it usually was. And and then we started up the Alpha Squad YouTube and the Instagram. That was in like April 2016, I think. We documented how each squad member came to be. And we had Abe in the video. And then we were hanging out with Will and his mom, Mama D, cause like I ended up kind of working shit out with Will and them, but they still thought I was fucking dumb for giving up the scholarship. But, it is what it is. They don't understand. Um, but yeah, they had got these pool noodles that they were gonna use because it was like spring, summer. But they were just beating each other up with them outside in the parking lot. It was pretty funny. So you can check that out if you want to. It's on the Instagram and the YouTube. And then time passed for about 4 months, and then eventually Abe moved out, and then it was at that point it was 10 months since I got back from college, and then Will started to stay at the house. And during this time, the second round of the Walmart games with Will started to happen, but these went terribly wrong. I'm gonna pause this for a minute. Alright, I'm back. The Walmart games with Will and Josh that went terribly wrong. So, like, Miller dropped me, Will, and Josh off. I forget what we were supposed to get, but Will and Josh started playing tag. I told them they shouldn't do it because of security, but they wouldn't listen. Yeah, I think they might have knocked over a couple shirts or something, and they ran into the bouncy ball pit, but like nothing went out. And that must have been what did it, because right as soon as I walked out, there was a cop in my right peripheral, like, right there at my face, and I was like, what the fuck? And he needed to talk to us. And then everything was cool. We didn't get in trouble because they didn't knock anything over. The cop was just like, so what did y'all do? And I was just like, I don't know, man. I just told them, like, they started playing tag and, being dumb. I told them that they shouldn't, they'll get in trouble. They wouldn't listen. And then the cop, kind of sympathized. He was like, all right, you're cool. You can just, sit down. You're not in trouble. And then they made uh Will and Josh's parents come get them. And then they went over to Miller and they made him throw away his grinder, but he didn't get in trouble for that. But what's funny is there was 6 goddamn squad cars, for the thing, and they actually pulled over 2 other groups of 6 and like 8 people, and we're just questioning them, even though they had nothing to do with it. We were telling them, like, no, they had nothing to do with it. It was just us. Like, they're not even associated with us. And yeah, so I feel bad for those poor bastards. And then the manager walked up, the security person, lady or whatever. Like, she was like, yeah, I think a shirt got knocked over or something. And, and then it was just stupid. Like, they didn't even know why that they fucking got the cops and shit, which made no sense. But they let us go. And then, yeah. This just keeps going into it. Um, yeah, this gets into the other kind of Walmart trips. Old Miller started stealing shit, which was probably because he started doing the meth and I didn't know about it. Yeah, he got kicked out for that. But he started a 5-finger discount with Travis, and then one time I hear security scan the floors, and then Miller puts the shit back. But then like the same associate from before, we saw her, the security lady, we saw her a couple times. I think she works around the holidays. And then yeah, that sucked. I think it was a speaker he was trying to take, but they let us go. I think she was just mad at Miller. Just funny because he ended up working at Walmart and QT and fucking taking shit from both places. Just fucked up. And then another time they were discounting stuff at the Newport Walmart, and then Travis got caught because he tried to pocket 7 iPhone cases for no reason, and Miller still got away with it, even though like Miller drove both of us there, which was fucking crazy. And that ended the trips to Walmart because like I didn't want to be caught up in all of that. Ah, the tale of the two halves. This was when Johnny was back this one time. Like Johnny was in the squad on and off. Yeah, even after the stuff of college, up until the time that Trudeau returned, which I'll get into that. But basically, Trudeau didn't like the fact that I was hanging out with Will and Abram had stayed here and Will was staying here, even though he wasn't supposed to be staying here. He just kind of ended up happening. And he didn't like Johnny being here because Johnny was still young as fuck. But he was just an asshole about it, and he was still fucking. His mind wasn't right because he got out of a controlling, possessing relationship with his ex, and like, she had his mind all fucked up. But once he started smoking weed, he went back to his normal self and fucking mellowed out. Everything was good for a while. For a while. But he was being an asshole when he first got back, which I really didn't need, especially like the scholarship and shit. All the crap that had happened, I didn't need that kind of shit. Anyways, Tale of Two Halves. So Johnny was introduced by Travis, and that's how he became part of the squad. He started joining us on the skating ventures and the smoking sessions. And then one night, him and his friend walked all the way here from like roads over um, at like 1 in the morning, and it just so happened we were having an epic party doing the 25 shot challenge. So that was lit. And then I asked Johnny if he could help me build the trail to Hightower, and he did. And that shit was cool. And uh, we recognized him as an alpha after that. And then we ended up getting a half ounce of like mid each. And then we were watching this movie I found, this old VHS movie called Slumber Party Massacre 3. And then afterwards, like, we wrote a story on a text about it using all the names of the pieces, which you can still see on the Instagram. It starts off like, we went over a riptide on a steamroller and then found a crossfall. And it just keeps going. But yeah. I might as well read it. It was a mystical journey. We saw a princess and got lost in a haze. And the only thing that kept us was alive was our American venom. And then we met a dirty Mexican named Troy that gave us a syringe. And then we smoked until we went MIA and saw galaxies and nebulas. Here we go. The return of Trudeau. This was when the Third Era started. The old Third Era. Oh yeah, we're really putting a dent into it now. Alright. Pause this for a minute. Alright, here we go. The return of Trudeau. Oh. So, after Trudeau left, even until like the return through college and shit, it was unanimously decided that we could bring one person back that we lost. It'd be Trudeau. Yeah, he was part of the OG4, and I don't know. He kept the conversation going. You know, Eh, when he left, a certain piece of the squad did too. And it was just after the story of the two halves that Trudeau made his reappearance. In January 2016, he broke up with Yvonne, and it was like 6 months afterwards. So I guess it was like right after my birthday or right before. But I didn't know if he wanted to, if he still gave a fuck about us. And he didn't. Yeah, August. He returned in August. Never mind. And then me and Will were just chilling at the house, and one day Trudeau just pulls up in his Durango. Which of course can't forget that he wrecked that Durango with me in it. I'll get to that later. That was fucking rough. It took him a while to readjust to the squad after being brainwashed by Yvonne. And he's got a job at Subway and started acting like he was better than everybody, which made no sense. And because he had a semester of college under his belt. I don't know. And he didn't like Will staying there or that I was hanging out with Johnny, which eventually caused Will to have to move out. And we didn't really keep in contact with Johnny. And yeah, shit happened with Travis. I'll get into that in a second. And Josh was also out the picture because him and Trudeau didn't get along. And eventually got to like a boiling point, and we just ended up in an argument, and he almost got kicked out. And yeah, it was fucked up. He was acting like really high and mighty. He got himself into college and was working at Subway and just giving me shit, after everything I'd been through in fucking college. So I was getting really sick of. And Kimbrel, Abe, and Patrick and Brandon were now gone. But before long, Jose and Shoot would be part of the squad. And that would start the third era of the squad. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Here we go. The 20-minute mark. I'm gonna stop this video. Start a new one. Y'all know the drill. Next episode, we're gonna start back with real life Mario Kart. It's gonna be a good one. So, yeah.